Hey y'all! So recently I have noticed a major uptick in views on a Cam and Fam video that I posted a little over a year ago discussing her allegations of abuse against her husband who committed suicide. In my video, I stood up for Landon since he obviously can't do that for himself. However, I tried to do this in a way that also validated Cameron. I believe they both were in way over their heads, having children too young, getting married too young, and just taking on too much responsibility too quickly to the point that it literally destroyed the both of them. But I made it a point to note that for Cameron to come out and tarnish her husband's image after his death for some views and clicks really rubs me the wrong way. The cherry on top of it all is what Cameron has now become, because it only proves our theory true that the mental health problems were on both sides of this relationship. Cameron's recent online activity has probably contributed to my video getting more views as well, because she is getting progressively more unhinged. The post of hers we're going to take a look at today is her calling out Landon for being abusive. This was posted not even like 4 months ago. The post is a trend going around that people are doing on TikTok where it's like a plan A, then something happens, and then it's what their plan B is. So Cam's post, the first slide reads, Plan A, escape from the abusive relationship. Finally be my true self. Be the best parent I can be. The next slide says Plan B. There was never a Plan B, meaning that she did all of those things she talked about in Plan A. She escaped the relationship. She is now her true self, and she's the best parent she can be. Which is all cute and dandy, right? Until you see what Cameron has posted next to this.
This polycool's about to become a polydual.
Hands up, partners!
That is Cameron with her throuple relationship. Now, forgive me, I don't know everyone's gender and pronouns. I know Cameron is a girl that is now a trans man, and one of those guys looks like he's being a trans woman. I don't even know if this is actually 2 men and 1 woman or 2 women and 1 man. Like, Lord, if I'm confused, imagine how the kids feel. Like, this shit is sickening. And it just keeps getting sicker. Let's take a look at another post. So, is that what your best self is, Cameron? According to your Plan A? Is that what being the best parent you can be looks like? Because to me, that looks extremely uncomfortable for children to be witnessing. Cameron herself did actually respond to a comment left on that first video that said, escaped is a crazy way to explain it. This comment obviously struck a chord with Cam, so let's hear what she had to respond to it.
I'm gonna be very, very, very clear on why I used the word escaped here. Because when that photo was taken, I was actively being abused and actively planning to escape that abusive situation with my children. And I did. After my daughter was born, a month later, with a 1-month-old baby, I literally escaped in the middle of the night while he was sleeping, packed all of our stuff, and left the state to escape. And I called the cops on him when he was at the house by himself, and I was watching him on our security cameras holding around a gun and waving it around and talking to the security camera, talking to me, making threats on his life and on my life. That's what was going on. That was my plan. My plan was to escape, and I did escape. Ultimately, that escape was not the end of the situation, was not the end of the relationship. The relationship ended when a month later, he literally forced me with threats on my life and my loved ones' lives, my grandparents, my aunts, my uncles. He threatened their life, put me in a situation where in order to save their life, I had to return home with him so he didn't hurt anyone. After I was forced back to be alone with him, a month later, he took his life. I was devastated. That is not the way that I wanted things to end, but I was also free from abuse, and me and my children were finally safe. So yes, when I was 9 months pregnant with my daughter, my plan at that point was to escape an abusive situation. Point blank, period.
Now, I really want to believe Cam here, and I think I do to a certain extent, but if Landon was really trying to harm Cam and threaten them both with a gun, then why wouldn't he have done a murder-suicide type plot? Or why wouldn't he have committed using the gun? Landon hung himself and Cam found him. And I know that this all sounds morbid to talk about it like this, but some things just don't add up. And it's unfortunate that, there's 3 sides to every story, and there's only one side that will ever come out here. From the looks of it, I think Landon was under a lot of stress as a young man and a father of 2, and he wanted to make Cam happy. But Cam was no help to herself or Landon, and she has admitted that. Check out my other video for a deeper dive into those specifics, but I believe Landon killed himself because he was struggling mentally, and Cam only overloaded that struggle, and it made Landon believe she deserved better than someone who was sick like him. I think it's really important that we talk about an aspect of this that gets completely overlooked. I found a clip of Cam telling Landon about their second pregnancy, announcing it to him, and the video just seems disingenuous to me. It looks as if Landon is acting excited because he knows Cameron wants him to be excited. To me, he looks nervous. That's my opinion. Let's take a look at it.
You know what this means?
Do you know what this means?
No way. Come here. I love you. I'm so happy. Finally. You're gonna have a brother or sister. Are you excited, Colette?
Baby in the belly.
I still can't believe it. Is it real? Are you sure this is real? Let me inspect it. Oh my gosh, Cameron.
Baby.
There's a baby in Mama's belly. Baby. Mwah. We're gonna have 2 children.
I know.
It's gonna be insane. I'm so happy. It's been like 3 months.
Even though Landon is saying that they were trying and he's so happy, I can't help but remind myself that a lot of men are very afraid to say no and risk losing their girl. Men will literally go into financial ruin and murder either you or themselves before they'll tell their girl no. A perfect example of this is this family of 3, where the father murdered the entire family because he was having financial struggles. A big part of this being afraid to say no thing also has to do with women begging men for more children. I have multiple examples for this one. The first being the LeBrants. Cole posted a video that seemed more like a cry for help, saying if he had a 6th child, he would not be able to love it. And Savannah was sitting beside him being like, maybe we'll adopt one day, completely ignoring her husband, obviously not being able to handle another child.
I think we're done having kids.
Yeah.
I mean,
This is the first time where I'm like very close to saying I'm 100% done. I always have like a little inkling in the back of my mind whenever I say that. So it makes me sad. But I think I'm done.
We might and likely will adopt down the road. I don't want another kid. It's that the 5 kids that I have, I love them all so much. I know that you do too. You have the same perspective. Your capacity is just more than mine. Where I feel like I am maxed out. Where I whenever we had 4 kids, I was like, I can love these 4 kids well, and I'm pretty sure I can do a 5th. We had the 5th, and I'm like, okay, I can love these 5 kids well. I don't think I can love 6 kids really well. At some point.
Okay, you need to elaborate more on love. He means more. He means more. Give his time to them.
I'm very intentional.
Special time.
I'm very intentional. Like every week, I make sure that throughout the week, I pull each kid aside and have special time with each kid in certain areas.
He's a great dad.
And just the more kids I have, I mean, because eventually you got to stop at some point. So if it was like 7, 8, 9, 10, whatever number that is, at some point you run out of time in your week.
Yeah.
For me, I ran out of time with 5 kids.
Yeah.
I guess that's what it is.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. So I just want to be the best dad that I can be, and I feel like I can still do that with 5 kids.
Yeah.
And that's why I don't even want to entertain adopting right now, because I want to make sure that I can love these 5 kids.
I'm not really entertaining the idea of adopting anytime soon either. I think if we adopt, it'll be obviously.
Just because we're so young.
Another example is Kira Sivertson and Oscar Morales. They had 4 kids by the age of like 22, and Oscar had to go as far as getting a vasectomy to stop Kira from baby trapping him for a 5th time. After this, Kira started hooking up with Oscar's best friend, Preston, is now married to Preston, and has 2 more kids with him. So she got those 2 more kids that she wanted, and she threatened that she would do this to Oscar before she did it.
This was back in 2017. A viewer asked who was most likely to want another baby first.
Set, go.
Me. I definitely
I am
would.
done.
He's not gonna be done, but he thinks so.
No, I am
but like,
done. I don't even want a dog anymore.
So what do I do? Ask another guy for kids?
What are you saying?
Because I need another child.
What?
He's so offended.
I am.
Like this on. You really think I would do that?
I know.
So some of these guys aren't even being irrational by being afraid to say no. That is what this video of Landon gives me. It gives that he's trying to be excited because he knows it's what Cam wanted, but he looks nervous. These men are actually afraid to tell their wives no because they're scared to lose them and to lose their families. Look what happened to Oscar when he stuck up for himself. His family was torn apart and his wife left him for his best friend. There's this TikTok trend going around of men explaining their feelings to their girl. This one says, "You yell at me, you hit me, and you're always mean to me." Then the girl will respond to the feelings, not by acknowledging them and trying to work on them, but by saying, "Okay, leave then." And then it will cut back to the guy basically being like, "Yeah, right." Now, don't get me wrong, this trend is funny, but only when it's a joke. A lot of men are really living like this, scared to stick up for themselves. If I'm being completely honest too, men like that piss me the fuck off because what do you mean you're letting a woman walk all over you and treat you like shit? Like, ew, what a turnoff. I need a man that's gonna put me in my place in that sexy type of way. You know what I mean? Here's another one of the trending videos. This one says, "You're moody, you give me an attitude, and you spend all my money. Then leave." Landon was only 19. Lots of men are never able to figure out that balance of telling your wife no while still maintaining respect. These men have to be willing and able to end a relationship if they're not being respected. I think the abuse that Cameron alleges near the end of the relationship was actually probably Landon desperately trying to keep his family together while his wife was actively trying to jump ship. To think of the mental state Landon must have been in before he took his life is really hard to imagine. Men's mental health is important, and more men should speak up about these things to warn other men and give them hope that there can be light at the end of the tunnel. You can quite literally see the sadness and weakness all over his face in videos filmed closer to his passing. Then, Cam exploited his death when he first passed away by being really sad about it and making content about it. She took a picture of her holding his hand in the hospital bed. She then continues to exploit him all over again by coming out with these abuse allegations. And she continues to exploit Landon so she can trauma dump for attention. Who actually sounds like the succubus in this relationship? Because to me, it sounds like Cam. The reason I wanted to make an updated video on this is because Cam is still running full force with this narrative and still subjecting her kids to an extremely inappropriate living situation. Not to mention, Cameron is now their dad, and their actual dad is dead and probably made out to be an evil villain in his children's eyes. These poor girls will grow up thinking half of them is evil, when the truth is their dad loved them and wanted such a good life for them that it drove him to the point of suicide. Landon clearly didn't think he was good enough for any of his girls, and by the way Cam is acting, we can see why Landon would have felt that emptiness. Landon has been gone for a while now, so for Cam to still be bashing his name is completely insane to me, especially when she shares children with him. What a weird and selfish world we live in, hey? Let me know what you think about this situation in the comments, and if your mind has changed since your first time hearing about Cam to now. It was great talking to you all, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!